So we got our shims in place, and welcome back. This is the fifth and final video in our unboxing the 60 watt MOPA series. Want to do the last part is kind of squaring this up. Remember, with our digital angle gauge, we were able to get the head parallel with the base, and so now we kind of want to get this guy in the center of our work area and keep our shims in place. And so you'll push it up like this, something of that nature. And you need to go to your software and create a box. Now this is a 110 millimeter lens, so I'm going to create the box at 110 millimeters because that's as big as I can get. And we had a little bit of trouble with our focal position, or focus position as it's called. We had to do a little bit of math and figure out where these numbers are coming from, which we'll probably cover in another video. And so what I did is I created a box that was 110 by 110 millimeters. And it may be hard for you to see it, but I'm red light pointing it on the base here. There we go. I'm going to do some hand puppets. Sorry. So, you take you some tape, unless you don't care about the nice new silver base, and just mark across it. Because 95% of these new lasers are going to have the word text marked here sooner or later. But I'm just putting a couple of layers of this green tape down so I can mark on it with my Sharpie marker. And you can see, hopefully, what I'm doing. So initially I'm going to take the square, and it may be a little bit hard for you to see, Chris, but see if we can come in there and you can see, hopefully, maybe, that it's definitely not square. And I think it's really hard to see on the camera. But your eyeball, you'll have to trust. And this is literally what you're, doing with the squares. You're trying to focus. I mean, not focus, excuse me. You're trying to line that box up 180 degrees with this square. And sometimes you got to kick the back of it around a little bit. And that's pretty much square right there. We are barely touching the square right here on the inside edge. But it's square this way. And just to make sure, we check that it's square this way. And it is just barely touching. It's a little bit out, but I don't think it's enough to write home about, because that is the largest working area that we can use. So once we've squared it up, you're going to kind of want to hold that there and finger tighten those guys up, those 4 bolts under the bottom that we loosened up to put the shims that hold this in place. And now you've kind of got it squared up. And so now, whenever you put some type of work holding fixture here, whether you're marking P-mags or dog tags or credit cards or car keys, jewelry, could even be dog tuxedo cufflinks, whatever you got work holding for, and you can make sure now that this is square in here. So now that you kind of got it square, what I do is I'm going to come and draw this straight line down through there this way, and as much as I can this way, which is not much, and then come over here and do it from this side. And that's close enough for government work. So now I know when I cut this light off, you can see the center galvo mark. Now when if I cut these pilot lights off here, and there's only the one beam, that's your center galvo mark. So in this configuration, this breadboard here has like a 5 on a die. You know, when you're playing dice, Yahtzee, it's shaped like a 5. So a lot of people would want to put that red light directly in the center of one of those holes, but that's not exactly how it would work, because you really need to figure out what exactly you're going to be marking the most of and how. But that's truly galvo center. And so if you're marking a coin, then what holds your coin needs to be half the distance of the coin to the left and bottom, or some variation of that. So just take that in consideration. This is kind of like a personal preference. So once you set something, you can get all your work holding fixtures that way. You can, you know, make them always set to the bottom left or what have you. So that's what we wanted to do. That pretty much covers everything in our last video. In one of our last videos, we made sure that the head was parallel to the base. And now we have made sure that the head is square to the base. And there's plenty of other adjustments you could do to make sure. And you also need to make sure that this box is actually a square and it's not bowed in or bowed out. So it would be semicircles, so to speak, with sharp corners. But we did mark with it. I marked a little baby card. Oh, I think I threw it away. But we wasn't marking much because I don't have the proper ventilation over here yet in this spot. Of course, this is not where it's going to live. But some of the same rules apply as in both of them. Turn the red light on. There it is. And don goggles, as they say. And there you go. It's stinky. I don't want to mark a lot, but that was super low power and 1,000 millimeters a second. And it's pretty nice and bright, shiny. So I am excited to play around with this bad boy and see what we can come up with. But our next video, we'll probably focus on something to do with EasyCAD 2, because these are still few and far in between. Not as many as regular Rakis and JPT machines on EasyCAD 2. So we'll probably focus on that. I've got a surprise coming for a lot of people. You have to stay tuned though, because I'm teasing right now. So you have to keep watching if you want to know what the surprise is. Unfortunately, Noah's in the bed right now because it's kind of late, and we're finishing up this video series trying to get it out for you guys. So I appreciate you watching, very much so, and it's time for our favorite part of the show. Without further ado, dad jokes. I got my glasses on because this dad joke's just so, it's bright. It's gonna be bright. And I got nobody else here. Chris, I gotta ask you, do you know how to catch a unique rabbit?
No.
Unique up on it? Oh, that's terrible. You know how to catch a tame rabbit? Yeah, the same way, unique up on it. So, we still have a few of the laser operator t-shirts left. I created a code for this series to unveil now. It's UNBOX50, UNBOX50. We'll give you 50% off of the shirts that we still have left in stock. So I really appreciate everyone who participated in it. I think it was 39 people, and I think we ended up having about 56 entries. So that was pretty awesome. And I really appreciate each and every one of you for watching and participating And as mentioned before, we are going to give away a 30-watt laser. So there'll be more details on that, and it'll be done through a third-party website. And so there'll be a lot of details I just want to remove myself from, and you guys get the benefit of it. So stay tuned for that. And we'll run it for a good little while, so no rush to jump in and do it. But we will be giving away a 30-watt laser, so you definitely want to watch that. We really appreciate it. And from me and Noah here at Fiber Laser Training, we'll see you next time.